So this is the micro home.
Yes, this is the micro home. It's only 88 square feet on the ground floor. I made the windows and the doors and pretty much everything in there, you know, so it was kind of fun just to build it out like a piece of furniture and really get a chance to like try things on for size and, you know, is this comfortable? Is, you know, like how can I get the most use out of this tiny little space?
Wow.
It's like the size of a kid's bedroom or whatever, but you've got like an 8-foot kitchen in here, which is like more countertop space than a lot of studio apartments,
it's like
right?
more than my place in Manhattan.
You know, these are modified IKEA cabinets, you know, these are IKEA, nothing super special, but just like in the detailing, you know, had this custom break formed and then cut out the sink and, you know, did that. And then there's also the guest chair, which is like the one we were, which I really prefer.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So you can have a few people there, and since having this, I feel like when I'm in bigger spaces, I'm like, you know, hello, or I can't hear you.
It's interesting how you use the stairs like as the other support for the other side of that table there. It's great.
You can just like, you know, cook up and down it like pretty good. So see, you're like a pretty tall guy, and when you're standing there,
yeah,
you are taking advantage of that little pocket of the ceiling.
For sure,
you know?
absolutely.
And what's nice is that you can sit down on the bed and stand up or do whatever and not feel like you're crawling out of a loft, you know? So there's all this storage, which, you know, I don't organize, but like extra bedding or like winter clothes or whatever.
So in here you would have toilet, but also shower
And sink.
And sink, and it all just drains into there.
Yeah, it's just a floor drain. So
This feels like a cruise ship where like your bathroom and everything is all like in one, essentially.
You know, I have like European clients, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have these all over the place." It's kind of nice. It's very comfortable when you're using the toilet, and it's very comfortable when you're taking a shower.
What could you get for a place like this, like as far as monthly rent goes?
You know, that's an interesting question. I rented it to a guy for 6 months for like, it was like a friend of a friend for like $1,600 a month, you know? It was all utilities included. But everyone's like, oh my God, you could get like $2 grand. And when you see the crap that people rent for like $3,000, I don't even want to speculate because it's kind of gross, you know? It's from 1916 and the main house is from 1885 and they had a French laundry here. So they must have had, like, that's what that boiler thing is right there. As far as I can guess, they would have had something like that. They would have heated up the water and then it went into this room next door, and I think they did the laundry there. And then the main house had like sort of a little tailor shop up front. And this is the nature of doing a remodel on like an existing building. You know, I think that you end up with something cooler than you ever could come up with on your own from scratch.
Do you think that people are or should build things tiny just for the sake of building things that are tiny, or should it be more about, I have this space that speaks to me, how can I make it livable and enjoyable?
I don't think we're just doing it gratuitously. I think it's a great way to fit people in like the city, right, in an affordable way, and or use a lot less resources, you know? So something smaller, you know, is, in other countries, the standard house is so much smaller than American. So moving this direction is not like a super new idea. But how to like do more of it is an interesting thing, and the codes are actually changing a lot in San Francisco, which I'm excited about. But I feel like there's always going to be something like, I think what they do, the codes are not progressive, they always are responsive. So things are moving in a certain way, and they're like, oh, we need to catch up with that, and I think they're doing that. Building these new things will be awesome, these micro apartments. I would like to see them with just a little bit more human touch, I think. You know, maybe because I come from like a furniture background, I'm always trying to solve the problems with furniture. And part of it was living in an apartment, making furniture that like doesn't have a lot of fluff to it, trying to make it thin but comfortable and everything. So you carry that mindset and look at plans or look at other people's things, and they may be neat looking or whatever, but if they don't have the functionality, then it doesn't really sing. And so in the small things, you really need some cool aspects to it, I think. And you know, maybe that's just not financially feasible. I don't know where it's going, but I think it's interesting that like people are getting excited about it.